Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie. In this video we're going to be doing February's full face of first impressions. I've got a whole bunch of new makeup products to try out. Right, so something that I want to start doing in these videos, when it comes to like concealers, I want to just try these out like before I do my foundation or any makeup really. Just like on my eyelid and under my eyes, just so that I can really show you the full extent of the coverage of the concealer. And then obviously I will just like wipe it off under my eyes. I may as well keep it on my eyelids because I'm going to do eyeshadow first. But I just want to kind of be able to show you things on my skin a little bit better. I'm hoping that my lighting setup is good enough and that you can really kind of see like the texture, the discoloration or whatever it is on my face. And then you can see like how well the products actually work in terms of covering that. We're very close now. So the concealer that I have to try out is something I'm quite excited to try. This is the You Wear Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer, which is very hyped up. A lot of YouTubers that I watch like say that this is an amazing concealer, so I'm hoping that it is. It's a little bit on the pricey side. Well, it's not too bad. Like for something that's like a high-end product, I wouldn't say it's too expensive. I think it was about £15–16. So I mean there's definitely way more expensive concealers out there, but this one is in the shade Lace, which I believe is the second lightest shade. They have a shade, I think it's called Snow, which is their lightest shade, but it looks like really light, and online it's described as being more pink toned, so I didn't want to get it because my skin isn't really pink toned. I have more of like an olivey warm toned. My face might look a little bit pink, but I try to go by my neck, which is more warm, olivey. Can get away with sort of neutral stuff as well. I feel like, so when I've swatched this concealer, I feel like the actual colour looks like a pretty good match. However, I did notice that it sort of oxidised a tiny bit on the back of my hand, so that concerns me a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do it on one eyelid and then under my eyes, so that I could kind of do it side by side and you can really see the extent of the coverage. I think what I might do actually is just do a little swatch on my neck, because as I said, I try to go more by my neck colour than my face colour. I mean, my face and my neck are pretty similar. I just feel like my face is like a tiny bit lighter. So I'll just like swatch this on my neck there for you so you can see the colour. I feel like it is a tiny bit deeper, not a lot, it's a tiny bit deeper than my skin, but I think I should be able to get away with that colour just fine. Just get close to you so you can really see what sort of like eye issues I've got going on. So as you can see, I have like a bit of a kind of a dark circle kind of baggy thing going on under here. I'm quite fortunate in that my darkness isn't too bad under my eyes. Like it's definitely like you can see it when I don't have, whoops, sorry, I'm just dropping things. You can definitely see it when I don't have makeup on, but I feel like mine's not too bad, but it's definitely something that I do want to cover. And then on my actual eyelid itself, it's very veiny. You can definitely see a lot of veins, and I feel like closer to like this part, it does have a little bit of purple discoloration as well. I'll cover this side, just my eyelid and my under eye, and then show you them side by side. I'm starting to think maybe I should have got the lighter shade, but I don't really want something that's super pink toned if I'm honest, but it did look really light, so that was just like kind of one dip in the applicator there, which I don't know if this is going to be too much, or it might be because it is quite thick. So we'll just tap that out. Right, so there you go. That is a kind of side by side, no concealer and concealer, and as you can tell, I would say that is a full coverage concealer. That has covered everything that I want covering. I just thought I'd show you it without foundation on, because sometimes I feel like if you go in with a foundation, you can't really tell the full extent of the coverage of the concealer, obviously. So I thought I'd just do it on its own. But I would say that is a very, very good coverage. So I'm very impressed with that. It also blended out incredibly easily. It was like seamless. The consistency is quite nice. I'm still not 100% convinced that this colour is perfect for me. It is a little bit creasy under the eyes. I find that almost all concealers are like that, but I mean it just kind of settle into that line a little bit, but I kind of find that unavoidable if I'm honest. It's just the nature of like my eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop on this on my other eyelid. I'll get rid of it under my eye on this side, and then I'll just put some powder on my eyes and we'll move on to the eyeshadow. So I've just concealed and set my eyelids, so we will move on to the eyeshadow palette that I have to try out today, which I'm very excited to try out. But this is from Coloured Raine. This is their Vivid Pigments and Shadows. I think it's just called the Vivid Pigment palette on Beauty Bay. But I mean, it's got this very fluorescent, vibrant packaging, and I really like the palette itself. Ooh, it's got a nice mirror in. Do enjoy it when they have a nice mirror in. And these shades are just so vibrant, so colourful. I just saw this and I just felt like I needed it. It is quite expensive. I believe it's £39, and I normally wouldn't spend that much, but I feel like I'm just trying to branch out this year, try some more high-end products, try some more adventurous things. Now obviously there's a lot of colours in here and I have no idea what sort of eye look we do. I feel like there's a really fluorescent pink called Party Drip. I feel like I need to use that, it just is calling my name. Now obviously these are like pigments, they're not eyeshadows, so I don't know if it's going to be like any difference in application or blendability or anything like that, because I don't think I've used a pigment palette before. I might have, I'm not sure. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but what I know I really want to do is use this shade called Party Drip, which is a really fluorescent pink colour. It doesn't look as fluorescent on camera as it does in real life. It looks more like neutral, but I swear to God, in real life this is like kind of neon-esque. I want to pop some of this through my crease. There is a bit of fallout, but I've never really cared about fallout. So it's pigmented. Let me just zoom in a bit. So I'm just going to start by putting this pink through the crease. I mean, that is so impressive. That is amazing quality. That is, I feel like it doesn't look as vibrant on the camera, but then again, sometimes I'll look at it on the viewfinder and then I'll be editing it and it looks way different to how I'm looking at it on the viewfinder. But oh my god, that is amazing. Obviously this is a very bright palette, but like there are a couple of kind of more neutral wearable shades. Like I'd say these two at the top, the red and this sort of browny orangey colour. Like I feel like they're slightly more wearable, but this definitely is more so a palette geared for people that want to do some like fun, vibrant stuff. So I think I'm going to go in with this quite deep purple shade called Vibes. This one, where the hell am I? This one right here. And I'm just going to, I think, put that underneath the pink that I've already put on. I do find with these that you have to kind of work with them a little bit, but I feel like that's the sort of thing I've heard with pigments in comparison to eyeshadows, is that you do have to kind of work with them a little bit more. So I do want to cut my crease, so I'm just going to go off camera and do that quickly. I'll probably use my NYX concealer jar with a little brush. That's just my go-to for that. One janky cut crease later and we're back. I think I want to use this yellow shade, Lemon Drop. I'm going to put that in the kind of main centre of the crease I've done, but I'll kind of leave the edges. I think I might go in for blue colour for that, but let's start with Lemon Drop. I'm just using like a little brush. I don't know if maybe I should use my finger, we'll see about that, but let's start with this. I think I'm going to go in with this deep blue called Neo Blue, this one here, and just put that on the next bit of the cut crease. I'm going to go in with the bright orange called Splash, and I'm going to use that to just blend the blue and the yellow together and hope if it comes out the way I want it to, which it might not. If this video is showcasing anything to you, it's that I can't do eyeshadow. Right, so I'm going to go in with the purple right at the top called Bossed Up. There we are. And I'm going to try and blend in my crease of this. Like, this is just kind of going a bit off track. I don't know what I'm doing. It kind of looks a mess, but I'm going to attempt to fix this. I think I'm gonna use Yacht Life. That's a strange name. Which is this dark blue down here. I'm gonna try and fix the outer corner with this. Right, so I've tried out enough shades, so I'm just going to go off camera. I want to put some white under my brow bone, but there's no white in this palette. I'm just going to try and fix this a little bit. I'll be back to give you my final thoughts. I've tried my best, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm amazing at eyeshadow, but I'm normally better than this. I mean, like, we tried, okay? We tried. In terms of the quality of this eyeshadow palette, I think that the pigment is absolutely phenomenal. Incredibly impressed with that. The colours are so vibrant. I feel like maybe it's a little bit difficult to work with, but I'm also wanting to blame myself for that, maybe more so than the eyeshadows. I think the pigments themselves are meant more so for people that are very like skilled with makeup. Just give me a while, okay? Just give me a chance. I'll get there one day. Maybe a little bit difficult to work with, so if you are like very new to makeup, maybe don't get this straight away. But I mean, the actual quality of the eyeshadows themselves is phenomenal. Can't wait to play around with this some more and master it a bit better than I have today. Really like it. I still think it's a little bit expensive, £39, that's a lot of money. I'm going to get the NYX Brights palette. I can't remember the exact name. Very kind of similar brightly coloured palette, but obviously a lot cheaper. So I want to kind of see if maybe that's a dupe for this, potentially. I don't know, I mean, it's got to fight against this pigment, which is pretty damn good. Right, so I brought a lot of products from The Body Shop this month, and the first one that we will try out is The Body Shop Velvet Gel Pen Eyeliner Stylo Gel, and this is of course the black one. I do enjoy a twisty up eyeliner. If you've watched any of my videos, you will know that. I like to pop these in my top and bottom waterlines, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Right, so I just had to kind of go off camera to do my top waterline, like the bottom one was fine, but for some reason, like, I literally poked myself in the eye at one point, and I'm normally not like that. I think I'm blind today, I don't even. So my eyes are a little bit watery because I did poke myself in the eye, but I mean, I still think that that has showed up very well on the waterlines, just giving me that intensity that I look for. So the next Body Shop product we've got to try out is one of their mascaras, and this is the Lash Hero Fiber Extension Mascara, which is a double-ended one. You've got a mascara and then a fiber thing on it. It's kind of similar to the Wet n Wild one I tried recently. And this one did have some good reviews, so I'm assuming you go in with the regular mascara, then put the fibers on and then blend in with the mascara. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm just doing my top lashes at the moment. What a sort of hourglassy kind of ones. So the fibers look like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some fibers on it. Oh my god, that was too much. Just like a whole blob of fluff on my freaking eyes. Maybe don't want that massive bit. So there you go, that is the lashes. I feel like I went a little bit clumpy just out here. But I actually think that that's got quite a decent amount of volume. I'm pretty satisfied with that mascara actually. I quite like that, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other eye. So that's both of the lashes done. I have to say I really like how what that's done to my eyelashes. I think that's a lot of thickness and a lot of volume going on there, definitely. Again, obviously it's like a double-ended thing, so if you don't have the patience for like fibers and stuff, you wouldn't like this, but if you personally don't mind that, I would recommend this mascara. I definitely think that that is a level of volume that I am quite satisfied with. Right, so that is the eyes done, thank god, because they were stressing me out. So let's move on to some base products. So the foundation that I've got is another Body Shop product. This is their Fresh Nude Foundation. I got mine in the shade Chelsea Porcelain 010O. When I saw this online, I was worried that it was going to be like more pink tone, so maybe I should have gone for the second light shade. However, like a month or so ago, probably a bit longer than that actually, I swatched it in a store, and to me it looked pretty warm toned actually, so I thought, you know what, let's go with Chelsea Porcelain, and I have it on me now, and I actually would say this is more warm toned, but like I did with the concealer, I'm just going to swatch this on my neck. I definitely don't think that this is the perfect colour for me. I feel like it's a little bit dark, and I'm debating of whether or not I want to use a white mixer with it. I think I might just use it on its own just for the sake of this video, but That's it on my neck there. I think I've done that a bit awkwardly. So, I mean, it's not terribly off, like, it's reasonably pale, but, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit dark, but you know what, we'll use it on its own for this video, but I think I'd probably normally put a bit of a white mixer in with that. This foundation did have some good reviews. I don't feel like I've heard loads about it. It's now pigment all over my beauty blender. Not really sure what to expect in terms of coverage. Obviously it's described as like a fresh nude foundation, which makes me think maybe it's not going to be super high coverage, but I'm hoping it has quite like a natural and nice finish. Once I blended this in, I will try and get as close to the camera as possible just so you can really see how it sits on my texture and stuff. I find that most foundations tend to like sit in my pores a bit. I think what I'm really in need of is doing a pore mask or something, because my pores have been like super heavy recently. I mean, I don't think that colour's too off actually. We'll see, it might oxidise though, that's the thing. Right, so I've got about a layer of that on. I'm just going to build it up a little bit where I have some like spots and stuff, and then I'll properly show you it. This foundation is very dewy and very like kind of radiant, which I do quite like. I actually really like that sort of effect it has on the skin. I will say that it is sitting in my pores quite a bit. I'll get a little bit closer in a second. The coverage I would say is like a low medium. It's not a particularly high coverage, but I do quite like the radiance and the dewiness to it. I'm just going to get as close to the camera as I can just so you can kind of see how like it is sitting with my texture. Kind of sitting in the lines on my forehead a little bit, on my pores up there, and I'll just go to this area. You can really see that dewiness though, which is quite nice. Like I like it, it's quite healthy looking, but it definitely is sitting in my texture a bit. And then I just go to my chin area. Don't know if you'll be able to see like my acne still coming through a little bit. So if you're into like really like dewy radiant foundations, I think you'd quite like this one. However, I wouldn't say the coverage is particularly impressive. Like it covers reasonably well. Yeah, it's definitely not like a high coverage foundation. Again, I'd say like medium at most. So I think if you're into kind of really like natural dewy foundations, then you would probably quite like this. However, if you want something that's gonna give you quite a lot of coverage, if you want something that's matte, and I'd stay clear from this. I've got mixed opinions. Like I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm kind of at the moment. But this video is just a first impression, and obviously I will be talking about these products again a month later once I've tried them all out some more. So obviously we talked about this earlier, the Duet concealer. I definitely think I'm going to need it with the level of coverage this foundation's given me. But I'm just going to, you know, see how this works over the top of foundation. I'm just going to pop it under my eyes. Yeah, I'm definitely not sure about the colour of this. Anyone potentially watching this video, if you've tried the lightest shade, do you think it runs really pink? Because if it isn't too pink, then I think I would perhaps consider buying it. So I'm just going to pop it on my nose as well, and on any spots around my face. To be honest, I think this is a sort of concealer where you don't actually really need to put a lot on. Like I kind of feel like I've put a bit too much on, like because obviously the coverage is really good. So I'd say maybe put less on than I have, if you want it to obviously cover but not look too cakey. That is a really nice concealer. I do really like it. It has got some good coverage. Oh, do I get the lighter shade? Do I get the lighter shade? That is the question though. I mean, I feel like it works fine, kind of like for spots and stuff, this sort of shade. But maybe like to brighten, I'd want that other shade. But I am really like happy with the coverage of it. But again, I feel like I may have put a bit too much on under the eyes, so it's looking a little bit crepey. So I think I would in future put on less, because when I was like doing my priming my eyes, I put on like a little bit less on the other eyelid, and I noticed that it wasn't like, it didn't sink into my lines like anywhere near as much. So I think less is more probably with this, but I still really like it. It's incredible coverage. So I have got 2 setting powders to try out, which I'm going to need because I am looking a bit oily, definitely, with these base products. So the first powder that I got, so this was off Beauty Bay. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder in the light shade 01 Fair. I saw a swatch online where I thought that it looked quite light. However, when I got this, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with the colour. I'm not convinced that this is going to work for me. I feel like this is perhaps going to make me look a little bit orange. I'd say the undertone's more neutral with this one, so I don't know. I'm not convinced about the shade. We also from the Body Shop got the all-in-one face base powder, and when I saw it online, I didn't think it was going to be light enough, but again, as I said, I did go into a Body Shop store a couple months ago, and when I saw this shade of powder, I thought that it actually could potentially work for me. But once I've got it, I'm not really sure. It's definitely very warm yellow toned, which I like, but I'm still not convinced that this is going to be light enough for me. It looks almost like a banana powder kind of shade, you know. I don't know if it's going to look really dodgy if I do this, but I might do one half my face of this, one with that. But obviously they're different colours, so it might look a bit weird. F it, I'm not going out today, so let's just do that. Because it is my mission this year to find a pressed powder that is tinted, so not translucent, or a colour correcting powder or anything like that, that is light enough for my skin and doesn't make me orange. I'm not convinced we found it with these 2, however I have brought the NYX powder foundation, which will be in another video, probably the next video I upload after this, and that potentially is a great shade. Right, so we're starting with the Body Shop powder, and I'm just going to set my under eyes first and then the rest of the face. Yeah, this colour, it's just it's kind of like a banana powder on me. It does not look good. I feel like maybe if I have a more light to medium skin tone, this would be a good banana powder for you, but this is not the one. I don't think this is not the one. I swear to God, when I went in the store, their lighting must be deceiving or something, because it looked way lighter. Which is weird, because you'd think, oh, go in a store to get a more accurate representation before you buy things online. But no, don't do that, because it's not an accurate representation. So I'm going to go ahead and just get a bigger brush and do the rest of my face, well, on this side anyway. This obviously does come in a number of shades, but not a great shade range, because obviously this is the lightest shade, and it's definitely, I would say this isn't pale skin friendly, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just, that is how it is sometimes, and I can't remember what the full shade range is like, but I imagine if they can't do the pale side right, they probably can't do the deep side right either. Okay, so we've established that I don't like the colour, but the finish, I don't even know if I like the finish either. I feel like it does, especially on my forehead, I feel like it looks a bit weird the way it's kind of settled. I don't know, it's not the most flawless finish. It definitely has mattified my face pretty well, I would say. Not the most flawless finish. See, that's what I'm thinking, even if you can get your shade, I don't know if I like this powder enough, so I'm gonna have to say this powder's probably a no for me. I certainly don't have a good feeling about this one either, but we'll give it a go. Just get off any of the other powder from my brushes. You know what, I can't wait to try the new Makeup Revolution setting powders. That will be next month, definitely. There will be a video on those. That's the thing with so many new releases, I feel like when you're a makeup channel, you kind of it's hard to keep up with everything. If you do it full time, I feel like it's a lot easier because you can afford to just buy whatever new shit's coming out. But if you're like me and you work a minimum wage job and you're not getting any money for making these videos, I just want to test things at my own pace, really. You know, I'll probably do first impressions of products that came out 2 years ago, but that's just realistic, I think. But there definitely are a lot of setting powders that I'm that's like putting a stripe of orange in my face. It's like putting what's it dust on my face. Guys, all I just want is a pressed powder in a skin toned colour that doesn't make me orange. That's all I want. These are not the ones. Body Shop one is definitely lighter than the Milani one, that's for sure. I feel like maybe if you're pale but like just a couple shades darker than me, maybe you could get the Body Shop shade to work, especially if you're quite warm toned, but I still, this Milani one is so much worse though. But nonetheless, we're continuing. That's what these videos are about. Testing new products, even if they're really not the ones. I think I like the finish of the Milani one a bit better. I feel like the Body Shop one emphasises texture a bit more. The Milani one's a little bit more smoothing, I'd say. I still wouldn't say it's the most smooth, flawless finish, but I definitely think it's a bit nicer on the skin than the Body Shop one. However, the colour is far worse than the Body Shop ones though. If you could find a shade of this Milani one, I would maybe give it a go. I don't think the finish is too bad actually. It's somewhat decent. I like the finish better than the Body Shop one. But none of these are a good colour for me. Like, I don't know how well it shows in camera, but like one side of my face looks orange and the other side just looks still too dark, but not quite as orange. But nonetheless, we are mattified, so let's please move on, please. When I do first impressions, I don't do wear tests because I don't like to do wear tests on days where I'm just at home. I like to do wear tests on days where I'm at work because I feel like I get a better time span of that, because when I'm at home, I wake up super late and I don't do my makeup till like, it's 6:15 right now in the evening, so I'm obviously not going to have it on all day because I'll take my makeup off at about like 11 or 12. So that's why I do first impressions a month later, where I can give you any in-depth thoughts on it. However, I will put a little note in the description about how the foundation and the concealer wears and stuff, because obviously I will have tried it on a work day before this is edited. I'd like to think so anyway. So let's move on to some cheap products, and this one I'm actually very excited to try out, and it looks like it's going to be a great colour for me. This is another Body Shop product. This is their bronzing powder in 01. I think it comes in about 4 or 5 shades, and I know a lot of like pale skin YouTubers have raved about this being a good one, and I have to say the colour does look like it's going to work very well for pale skin. Obviously this isn't the best base to test it on because I'm looking a bit off in colour to how I normally would, but don't matter. We're going to try this out anyway. I've obviously heard this is a really good bronzer, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to using it on another day where my base is better as well. I like bronzers that are more kind of buildable and don't just instantly come out like a harsh line, which this seems like it's going to be one of them. It's definitely not coming out too pigmented, which I like. I'm liking that so far. I feel like I can't judge it accurately with this base on because I'm the wrong colour, but I like that it's not too pigmented and it's buildable, which is exactly what I want with a bronzer. I will just slightly tap it out just to see if it blends out easily, which I think it is. So I can't wait to try that out again on a better base, but so far I like it. It's definitely warmed up my face, but it's not like orange or a colour that I don't want on my face. So next cheap product, a highlighter palette. Now this was a bit of a like spontaneous buy because obviously I was doing a Beauty Bay haul and then I saw them bring out new highlighter palettes. This is from obviously Beauty Bay's own brand. This is the Living My Best Light Ethereal Bouncy Beam Multi-Use Highlighter Palette. I think there's about 4 or 5 different colours of this palette, but obviously I went for the one that was a bit more like the lightest one. It's kind of like a bit holographic-y. That's what it looks like there. The pans are massive and it does look stunning. This does look absolutely gorgeous. I feel like when I swatched it, it didn't swatch amazingly, but not all products like the swatches are accurate to how it actually goes on your face. But let me just swatch it again just to see if I'm being crazy. See, like that's how it swatches, and like it's definitely like pigmented, but like it almost has like this kind of like, it's almost sort of like kind of translucent, like translucent shimmer, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm describing that accurately, but I mean, let's do a little swatch in my hand. I feel like this will probably translate better onto the face. If I'm being honest, I am actually more into highlighters that aren't super like, have a bit of a cast to them on the face. Don't get me wrong, I love me some pigmented highlighters, but I am more into the sort of kind of skin-like ones recently, so we'll see about this. I'm just going to get any excess highlighter off the brush I have. So the shade Moonlight Mousse is the one that's appealing to me the most. It's kind of like a white silvery shade. So we'll just pop this on this cheekbone to start with. I'm going to switch brushes actually. I don't know if that's the best brush for it. So use this more kind of denser one. I mean, you could definitely see some pigment there, but I wouldn't say it's the most blinding highlighter I've used. And I definitely feel like it's a little bit glittery. I do like it though, actually. I'm going to try this more pinky shade called Daybreak Days. This one at the bottom here. I'll do that on the other cheekbone. I feel like this shade meshes into my skin tone a little bit more naturally. Again, it's pigmented, but it's not like super blinding. We'll go in with the lilac-y one, Whimsical. This one here, and I'll pop that on my nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. And I guess we'll finish off with the last shade, First Frost, which is a bit more yellow, goldy, and just pop that a bit on my temples. Don't know if this is something to do with the base products, but it's almost not showing up on my temples. But like it showed up everywhere else, so I think it might be something to do with the base products, because it like that is kind of where I'm getting the most texture from, like with those powders and everything. So this highlighter palette, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I definitely think if you want like something that's super blinding, this isn't the one. But I almost don't hate it for that, just because I am starting to get more into like sort of natural highlighters. I definitely feel like I need to try this out again when I'm like more happy with my base, so I can thoroughly see how I like it. I would say that they do mesh into the skin quite nicely, especially this kind of like pinky one. I really liked that one. I think I'd reach for that one maybe the most. Obviously, like I'm on beauty based subscription list, so I always get emails about new products, and like the swatches that they were in like the email, like they look like super like blinding. I don't necessarily think that's how this one looks. Maybe the other shades are more like that, but I mean, I don't know. Gonna have to get back to you on that one. I'm not sure how I feel about this at the moment. Apologies if you can hear the hoover. So for our eyebrows, I have another Body Shop product. This is a Brow Sculpt 3-in-1 contouring brow pen. Mine's in the shade 03 Dark Brown. I think that was the darkest one they had. So this is a double-ended product that has a gel on one end and a pencil on one end. And it's not quite a micro pencil, but it's like the same sort of shape, it's just slightly thicker. Colour looks pretty good. Packaging's a bit dodge. I've just realised that it comes off and you've got like this thing on it. What the hell is that? Is this meant to be? Is that just for like blending? Like it's got some like colour on it. I don't know if I'd use that part. I'm not really into the whole like spongy brow sort of thing. But the other end's got a gel on. The one that's quite small, however, I wish it was like a little bit less long, like half the size of that, because I do like it the smaller the better. My hair is actually kind of black at the moment, so I'm trying to go for more dark products lately, so this might be a little bit lighter than what I'm going for, but we'll make it work. So I like to start by using the tinted gel, and then I'll go in with the pencil to kind of define it further. I don't think I'm going to use that weird spongy thing, that's just not what I'm into. Definitely quite a bit of excess on that gel, so I will make sure that I get off a load of that before I go in. Yikes. Hopefully I got off enough there, so let's just try and attempt to fill in a brow here. It's not really come out the way I wanted it to. I think the quality of the gel is fine, it's just the brush is a bit too big and there's also a lot of excess on it. I feel like maybe if I got some scissors to it and cut it in half, it could potentially work better. There's an idea for the future. So anyway, let's go in with the pencil and attempt to fix this. So yeah, it's a micro brow pencil, but it's just like a slightly thicker version. So we'll see how this works. I'm just going to further define the brow, fill in any more sparse areas. I don't think this is going to be my new favourite brow product, if I'm honest. I just feel like they kind of look like a bit of a mess. I'm going to see if I can fix them with this spoolie a little bit. It's just like a random like splodge in this part of my brow. It's like hair on this. Right, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with this brow product, if I'm honest. Brows just kind of look a bit of a mess. I'll obviously give it some more go, see if I can get it to work for me, but I just don't, it's just like the shapes of both the pencil and the gel, they're just like so close to being right, but they're just a bit too big, I'm afraid. So shall we try and finish off this eyeshadow that already looks so good? I think we'll mix it up and just put a little bit of green under there and call it a day with the eyes. I kind of just want to be done with it because it's not a great eyeshadow look. There's nothing really I can do to salvage it. So yeah, so we'll go in with the shade Level Up, which is a nice greeny colour, and I'm just going to use a little kind of smudgy brush, pop some of this under the eyes. So I'm going to go in with a bit of Moonlight Muse in my inner corner from the Beauty Bay highlighter palette. So I'll just go ahead and do my bottom lashes with the Body Shop mascara. Right, so bottom lashes are done. So we've got one product to finish off with, and this is a lipstick. And I've gone boring again. I promise you, my next first impressions, we have some exciting lip colours. I'm just going to get some more exciting lip colours, but this is a boring one. This is the Body Shop Colour Crushed Lipstick in the shade 001 Bastin Astable, whatever. It's a brownie nude, as you can see. And it's a lovely bullet lip. Totally up my street. So let's hope that this is a nice formula. Well, that's super creamy, but not so creamy where it's kind of difficult to work with and like it just kind of goes everywhere. Like I actually feel like I've applied that pretty well. I think I've stayed within the lines of my lips. I like it, obviously, because it's quite creamy and moist. That does give me some questions about if it's gonna, you know, come off in like an hour. But I like it. It doesn't emphasize any texture on my lips at all. I kind of like the nice little sheen it has. It's definitely not a matte lip product. But then again, I did have that lip balm underneath, so that can often make any lip products I put on a bit more, you know, moister, oh god, no, shinier than they normally would look. But I still like it. It's very nice. Colour's totally up my street. So that's everything tried. I'm just going to go ahead and sort my hair out, show you the finished look. Right, and we are back with the finished look. Despite some issues we encountered, I did have a lot of fun putting this makeup on my face today. So I'm just going to tell you the products I loved from today to start with. First of all, I would say definitely this colour Raine Vivid Pigment palette. I mean, I'm not mad about how my eyeshadow turned out, but you definitely cannot deny that there is some serious damn pigmentation going on here. I think I just need to get the hang of using this, playing around with the pigments, but the quality is amazing, I will say. Worth £39? Not sure, because that's a lot of damn money, really. I don't know it's anything worth £39. My phone bill, maybe. The Body Shop bronzing powder in 01, incredible shade. Cannot wait to get this on my face again when I have a nicer base on, but really like that. Mascara actually I think is banging. I mean, there's some serious lash impact there. It's got the volume. That's all I want really, and it's done it, and so I can't fault it. All I can say is double-ended, not everyone's cup of tea. I don't mind it. I mean, if I want to get my makeup done in a rush, it won't be the one I reach for, but otherwise I would definitely reach for it. Really good mascara. Visual concealer, maybe not the best colour choice for me, but the actual concealer itself, incredible coverage, like super satisfied with the level of coverage this gives. Blends like a dream, really nice. The only thing I will say is that you don't go in with too much. I think it's a bit easy to go overboard. Can look a bit heavy if you put too much on. So I'd literally just say do like one gentle swipe under your eye or wherever, and that's really all you need because the coverage is so good. Also, this lip product from the Body Shop, I'm really liking how it looks. The colour's beautiful, so like smooth and creamy to apply. If it comes off in a few hours, then maybe I'll take back the loving it. So as for ones that I've kind of got mixed opinions on, like I'm not 100% sure. The foundation, like I love the radiance and the dewiness of it. However, it did emphasise my texture a little bit. and it's also not the best coverage foundation. Like, I'd say it's like a medium at best. So I need to try this out some more. I need to see how it wears, try it with some different products, and I'll get back to you on this one. So definitely don't hate it, but I don't know at the moment. I'm still a bit like, I need some time with this one. The eyeliner pencil, I did really like it. I've noticed that it has kind of come off a little bit, but I don't know if that's just with all the fiasco that was going on with my eyes. So I need to try that out again, obviously, and we'll see. But the pigment was pretty good, but I mean, I've just noticed that it has kind of faded a little bit on my waterline. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So I don't know if that was just with all the eyeshadow nonsense that was going on, but we'll see about that. Also, the highlighter palette, like, I don't know. I just need to try again. This is why I do first impressions a month later. Like, the colours themselves are pretty. The pigment isn't amazing, if I'm honest. Like, it's not the most pigmented highlighter palette I've used. That doesn't necessarily make it bad, because I do like natural highlighters. I'm starting to get more into them. But, I don't know, I'm going to need some more time with that one as well, I'm afraid. The products that I'm just straight up not really feeling right now. The two powders, obviously, the colours just aren't working for me. I would say the Milani one, the finish of it's actually decent. So if you can find a shade that works for you, I wouldn't say it's a bad powder at all. I'd give it a go. The finish of the Body Shop one, though, I don't know, but like, I don't know if you can see like this part like here. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but it's gone a bit like textured and weird. I don't really like the finish of this powder too much, and the colour's just wrong as well. So I don't think I'd recommend trying this Body Shop one. I mean, maybe it depends on your skin type. Maybe this will work for some people, but for me personally, don't like the colour, don't really like the finish. I don't necessarily want to keep this in my collection. So the powders are kind of a no from me. And the other product that I was quite disappointed with would be the eyebrow thing. It's just the sizes of the brushes and the pencil, they're just not to my taste, and I wasn't really sure what to expect when I saw it online, really. But the brush on the gel is just too big, and also there's a hell of a lot of excess. Like, that is too much excess. Just kind of was a bit hard to apply, came out a little bit gloopy. The pencil, I mean, the pencil's not bad. Like, I just tried this pencil out on its own, but it's just a little bit thick. I'd prefer something thinner, and I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this exactly. Should I try this? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. But I mean, the brow, it doesn't look terrible, but I've done far better brows in my life. So I'll keep trying it. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and try it out some more, but I wouldn't say I'm super impressed with this product, to be honest. My channel's a mess. I'm trying to fix it, okay? I'm trying to get it back on track. It will get back on track. Anyway, I hope this video was somewhat interesting or helpful. God knows. So that's it, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.